Did you know? Asian rummy-nose rasbora, scientifically named Saubois resplendens, is a very beautiful, unique small nanofish. In the aquarium field, it is also called an Asian rummy-nose tetra, but is not a true tetra species, according to scientific classification. This fish is very popular among aquarists due to its shoaling behavior, peaceful disposition, unique color, unique feeding behavior, and small size. This fish can be the highlight in any peaceful community aquarium, and it is a particular standout in the planted aquarium with dark substrate. The wild populations of this fish are unfortunately suffering, but a few farms are cultivating and preserving this magnificent species with mass breeding. Following these videos, you have the opportunity to gain much more knowledge about keeping and breeding Asian rummy-nose tetra. Here we will share our experiences, which we have while going through many more failed attempts until get successful results. With our experience, we will guide you toward the best pathway without major failures. In this educational video, we will talk about important points that mainly focus on increasing the reproduction capacity of the Asian rummy-nose tetra. Here we talk about the origin and natural habitat of the fish, its appearance and behaviors, water chemistry that is compatible with raising Asian rummy-nose tetra, sex differentiation of Asian rummy-nose tetra, tank mates of Asian rummy-nose, unique diet and dietary habits, and the most important and interesting part of the video, which is best breeding method of Asian rummy-nose tetra. This video is a product that contains many more important points throughout the video. Please try to grab all the details in this video without missing anything. First, we will roll into our intro. We will talk about the origin and natural habitat of Asian rummy-nose tetra. The gorgeous rummy-nose rasbora is native to the Lake of Inle and associated watersheds in Shan State, eastern Myanmar. Lake Inle lies in a karstic valley almost 900 meters above sea level in the Shan Plateau region and is home to many endemic animals, including 9 species of fish. In natural habitat, the water is clear, shallow water up to 1 to 2 meters deep in most places, and has a very fertile, loamy substrate. Although it can be muddy and turbid around the margins, mostly they are hanging around vegetated margins of the river. Therefore, in a captive setup, also they like fine substrate and much more vegetated, clear-moving water. The average lifespan in natural habitat will go 3 to 4 years, and it will increase up to 5 years in captive setups. Now we talk about the appearance of Asian rummy-nose tetra. An adult Asian rummy-nose fish size is approximately 1.2 to 1.8 inches in length. In my tank, I have 1.8 inches female, but males are a bit smaller than females. The average lifespan of this species is 4 to 5 years if kept in an ideal environment. According to their behavior analysis, Asian rummy-nose tetrafish is a shoaling species and must be kept in groups. The minimum size of the group must consist of 8 fish. Keeping them in large groups significantly reduces their stress and helps them show their true natural shoaling behavior and bright colors. Keeping them in large groups will make the fish less nervous and result in a more natural-looking display. Males will also display fascinating behavior and show their best colors as they compete for female attention. The most intense color will be displayed when this fish is kept in schools. You can see it in this video. I have kept 5 females with 3 males. They have the best mature coloration, including multiple males, in a heavily planted, spacious aquarium to ensure that subdominant males are not overly harassed by dominant males. As with many Rasbora varieties, darker substrate will also often result in better coloration. Here you can see I use black sand for the substrate. Now you can see how the color of males. It is amazing. They have the best colors I have ever seen in my life. Floating plants and driftwood diffuse the light and create a more natural habitat. Asian rummy-nose tetra is a peaceful species. But first important point that I would like to make is when they see some small live fish or shrimps in the tank, they will aggressively feed on them. When your other small fish get ill, they will feed on them quickly. Still, they are suitable for community aquariums with other similar-sized aquarium fish or invertebrates such as shrimps. Now we will look into their tank mates. We can put Asian Rummynose with cardinal tetra, galaxy Rasbora, planted tank loach varieties, algae eater varieties, red neon blue eye rainbow fish, Cenepa red pencilfish, coral red pencilfish, red lizard whiptail catfish, killifish varieties, dwarf Rasbora, chili Rasbora, neon tetra and small shrimp varieties, forktail rainbow, and many more non-aggressive nanofish varieties. Now we are talking about water chemistry of their habitat. Asian Rummynose tetra is very easy to care for. All you have to do is replicate their natural habitat in your fish tank. Add a lot of live aquarium plants to replicate their natural environment, and use driftwoods. Multiple natural decorations can be added. Minimum tank size should be 10 gallons. The ideal water parameters for these fish are water temperature 20 Celsius to 27 Celsius, water pH 6 to 7.5. TDS value should be 100 to 180. Can tolerate GH value in between 3 to 10. My second important point that I want to let you know is they are love to live in cool water. When the temperature reduces towards 20 Celsius, they will show more colors, and activities also markedly increase. Systems should be free of ammonia. Also keep in mind, aquarium setup should be cycle at least 1 month and should start good nitrogen cycle inside the tank. Therefore, you should prepare the tank and introduce some hard fish such as guppy to the tank and feed them every day. Then your tank nitrogen cycle starts slowly and established in the tank. Then it will adjust automatically for your quantity of fish slowly. Now, we are talking about sex differentiation. It is very easy to differentiate between males and females. The first difference is males are more brightly colored as compared to females. Mature males have bright red color in tips of tail fins and head, and their body gets shine silver bluish color. When fry get mature, males get their red tail and head color at first. Then gradually develop the bluish color when they get mature enough to breeding. When mature females have pale olive green color. Females are usually larger in body size. When females get mature, their belly get round. Here you can see the close-up video that shows the main features of males and females. Diet and feeding play a good role in breeding of this fish. Asian Rummynose tetra is an omnivore. It is preferable to feed them live and protein-rich foods like brine shrimp, daphnia, cyclops, frozen bloodworms, and fish flake food. Due to their nano size, these fish have small mouths, and you need small food items. Here in Serendib Aquatics, we feed them with de-encapsulated brine shrimps and Dr. Baslier fish food. Most of the time they are seeking live foods in the vegetation or floor. When we talk about the breeding of Asian Rummynose tetra, it is a very difficult task which can be achieved only with good patience and dedication. Breeding of Asian Rummynose tetra is a challenge. They do not show any parental care for their young. They also differ from most of other Rasbora varieties when we consider the breeding behavior. Instead of being open water egg scatterers, Asian Rummynose tetra deposit their eggs on the underside of broadleaf plants near to the water surface. I want to point out my third important point according to my observation, that they are much more loved to spawn in water surface area. But in some incidents, they also spawn bottom and middle layers of the water column, according to the availability of best breeding location. That means if you have both surface situated large leaf plant and bottom situated large leaf plant, most of the time they will select the surface situated place for spawning. There are two methods we can use for breeding this amazing fish. The first method involves isolating a small group containing a 2 male and 4 or 5 females into a breeding tank with an air-powered sponge filter and a spawning medium, such as large leaf surface situated plants or spawning mops. You should collect any eggs laid on the medium several times per day and incubate them separately until they hatch. This is the effective method that I also use in Serendib aquatic fish breeding projects. I want to emphasize my fourth important point here, that you should make a special breeding mop that should have below characteristics. It should be actively and sustainably situate on water surface, and it should have a smooth surface that have ability to stick the eggs. You can see my breeding mop. Here I create it with plastic lid and normal breeding mop. Plastic lid keep the system on the water surface, and that lid have ability to stick eggs. But mop have less ability to stick the eggs. Then I use plastic container to collect the eggs that fall down without attached to mop. I put a partition at the opening of plastic container to prevent the entering of adults to eat the eggs. The second approach involves maintaining a colony of adults in a larger and fully decorated setup that should allow some fry to survive if well planted. Aquatic mosses and floating plants with trailing roots are recommended as these fish spend the early part of their life close to the water surface. We will talk about first method further. Set up a separate breeding tank with a sponge filter and spawning mop. Tank should be at least 5 gallons. It is beneficial to use a sponge filter from an already established tank so it facilitates the cycling process of your tank. Also put some Neocaridina shrimps as biological waste cleaners. They will eat all left foods and tank will less likely drive towards to an ammonia spike. You can see my breeding setup here. I used well-seasoned old water from my main planted tank. It has some gravels, plants, and my cherry red shrimps. Here for my research, I use floating breeding mop and Anubias nana plant, and needle fern portion, which is manually hold on water surface, as you see in this video. Breeding tank water parameters I will mention here. pH value is 6.7 and TDS value is 160. Water temperature is 28 Celsius. Ammonia is 0. Now choose a healthy, brightly colored 3 males and a few females, ideally 3 or 4 females. A single male can mate with several females during a single day. Initially, I put selected 3 to 4 females to the breeding tank and feed those de-encapsulated brine shrimps and mosquito larvae for 1 week. It helps me to make sure that females are full with eggs. Here you can see my all-female fish are full of eggs following that week. Following 1 week at late evening, I put mature 3 males to the tank. Then put your light dim. Males and females should be different bloodlines. It will help to make a healthy fry. Next day evening, they will spawn for you. Initially, male starts to chase the selected female or females. After females get ready for spawn, both go towards water surface, same time, and female and male get slant under the Anubias leaf, and male press the abdomen of female toward the underside of leaf. At the same time, female release 1 or 2 eggs that stick underside of the leaf, and male release sperms at the same time. This will happen as a quick jerky movement near the surface of water. You can clearly see the breeding behavior in this footage. I will show you 2 eggs that sticked onto the underside of the Anubias leaves. In my case, I switch on the aquarium lights at 6 AM. Then evening hours, they will start to breed. Every evening, I carefully observe the tank to identify that the spawning behavior is stop or not. At the time, they stop the egg-laying possess. I take out my breeding mop, egg collecting container and Anubias plants, and ferns for collect the eggs. All eggs on the Anubias, leaves, and mop should be collected carefully to a separate container. You can see I already collected some eggs here in my container. I will show it with an arrow, then I place the mop and plants at the same place they were. If you are not willing to collect eggs separately, you can take the mop and Anubias plants out and put into an incubating tank. Then I feed them with high protein content diet. Most of the time it will be mosquito larvae. Then I switch off the lights and regularly do it. They are regularly spawning. At the time, 1 or 2 females start to lay eggs, other females are searching for eggs to eat. You can clearly see in this video. That is why we monitor the spawning behavior closely. And when they stop the spawning behavior at the same time, we should take all eggs out from the tank. Otherwise, within 10 to 20 minutes, all eggs will be eaten by other fish, and you will end up with 0 eggs on that day. I had that experience many days also. As my final or 5th important point, that according to my experience, the best method for successful breeding of Asian Rummynose tetra is use large leaf Anubias nana plants for the spawning purpose, and it will give the best result than the floating mop method. Move collected eggs to another tank to incubate them with the same water parameters. You can see, I put all eggs to egg hatching tank which have acidic tannin water. It will give natural protection to eggs from fungus. The incubation period is usually 3 to 5 days. It depends on the water parameters. Temperature plays a main role in egg hatching process. You can see here, I put one set of eggs to the hatching tank which have 28 Celsius of temperature. Eggs get hatched in day 3. Fry are so small, following first day of hatching, they will hang on a surface in the tank. After second day of hatching, they will start to swim slowly. At day 3 of hatching, they will start to feed. They will swim near to the surface of the water initial 2 days. You can see day 1 fry are swimming in top layer of the water column. Then they start to feed in all bottom, middle, and top layers of the water column. Now you can see some fry following day 2 of hatching. They start activities in all layers of water column. Then you can feed them Serendib Aquatic Prime Egg Yolk Solution following day 1 of free swim stage up to day 7. Following day 7 of free swim, you can feed powder foods, decapsulated brine shrimps, and live brine shrimps. I will put the link in description. Those who are interested to try Serendib Aquatic Prime Egg Yolk Solution, you can watch the video that how we make it in correct method. Now you can see day 10 to 15 fry. All of them have silver color body and they are very active. At the age of day 10 to 15, they will large enough to eat live brine shrimps. It is the best food following day 10. Here in Serendib Aquatics, we use decapsulated brine shrimps and live brine shrimps following day 10 for feed fry. With live brine shrimps, growth rate will increase. Now you can see day 20 old fry. I feed them twice per day. Here they are now 1 month old, but still have no any color changes. Possible color changes will happen following next 20 days. This is the whole story behind the successful breeding of Asian rummy-nosed tetrafish. This is very difficult task. You will go through much more failure attempts, but this video will guide you to avoid failures and go toward the successful breeding of Asian rummy-nosed tetra. Don't worry, hereafter, you will be a master of breeding Asian rummy-nosed tetra with good knowledge of its unique set of behaviors. Thank you for joining with Serendib Aquatics. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to comment below. I'll try to reply to all comments. You can share your knowledge with others about Asian rummy-nosed tetrafish. Put your experience as a comment below. Serendib Aquatics will see you in our next fish breeding video as soon as possible. Hang on with Serendib Aquatics. If you think this will help you for your aquarium journey, please be kind enough to subscribe Serendib Aquatic YouTube channel for new updates.